You stare at those 4 words. Simple. Ordinary. But something inside you tightens because you've seen that text before. You've felt that heaviness in the chest, that slow, creeping panic that whispers, something's wrong. You don't reply right away. You never do. You tell yourself, it's probably nothing. But it's not nothing. It never is. She's been trying to talk for weeks, not just with words, but with her silence, her sighs, her distance. And you've been brushing it off because you don't like confrontation, because you don't want to feel guilty, because somewhere deep down, you're scared of what she might say. Here's the truth most men don't realize. When a woman says, we need to talk, she's not just asking for a conversation. She's asking for connection, for safety, for a moment where she doesn't have to pretend she's okay. But by the time she says those words, she's already halfway gone. You see, people rarely explode without warning. They fade first. They turn down the volume of their voice. They stop asking for attention. They stop explaining their feelings because they've already explained them 100 times before. And that's where psychology comes in. What she's showing you is a pattern of emotional neglect. Not abuse, not cruelty, just neglect. The kind that happens quietly, when one person stops being emotionally present and the other person slowly stops trying to reach them. She used to be loud about her needs. Now she's quiet. That's not peace. That's surrender. When she says we need to talk, what she really means is, I'm still trying. I'm giving you one more chance. I want to feel safe again. But you hear it as criticism, as an attack, and you shut down. That's not because you don't care. It's because you were taught to avoid discomfort. Let's go deeper. When you were younger, you probably learned that emotions were dangerous. Maybe your father went silent when he was angry. Maybe your mother said, I'm fine, when she wasn't. So you grew up believing that talking about pain makes things worse. That's called emotional conditioning. It's why so many men become emotionally avoidant. They're not heartless. They're terrified. Terrified of saying the wrong thing. Terrified of feeling powerless. Terrified of being seen as the bad guy. So instead of listening, you retreat. You get defensive. You joke. You change the topic. You look at your phone, and all she hears is silence. Here's the cruel part about avoidance. It doesn't kill love suddenly. It starves it slowly. Every ignored conversation, every not now, every you're overreacting chips away at the bond. Until one day, she stops saying, we need to talk. And that's the day you should be afraid. Because when she's quiet, when she stops asking, it means she's already said everything in her heart, and you didn't hear it. There's a psychological term for this slow disconnection. It's called emotional detachment. It happens when the brain protects itself from pain it can't process anymore. She's not trying to hurt you. She's trying to survive you. You think love ends with shouting, but most love dies in silence, in all the things that weren't said, in all the moments you turned away instead of turning toward. You want to fix it now, don't you? But you don't know how. Start here. Don't wait for her to say, we need to talk. Say it first. Learn to name what you feel. Learn to ask what she needs without trying to fix it. Listen not to reply, but to understand. That's emotional intelligence. That's love in its mature form. Love isn't about never fighting. It's about fighting for understanding. It's about staying curious when it's easier to close off. So next time you hear her say, we need to talk, don't roll your eyes. Don't prepare your defense. Just breathe and listen. Because that moment, that single conversation, might be the one that saves your relationship. You don't lose someone when they walk away. You lose them when you stop hearing what they're trying to say. If this spoke to something inside you, if it made you see love a little differently, don't leave just yet, because understanding the mind is how you protect the heart. Subscribe and keep learning how to listen deeper.